Good day, and I am GeneralLotz, and we are entering. Oh yeah, this is the sewer part of the game. The sewer level. No. But then that was a pretty quick thing. The sewer level in this game isn't bad, and it's not even an entire level. And that guy can't hit anything. Well, now, but then he got on that bloody MG34 and shot me to pieces. All right, but when last we met, ladies and gentlemen, I was talking about the concept of combined arms. That is something that is not often seen in media. It's like if they have like the Death Star, that'll automatically make him win. Got him. But in real life, or in real logic, there can't be just one ultimate weapon because, well, today's ultimate weapon is tomorrow's vulnerability. That's the thing. That's how it goes. Because in some kind of conflict, the other side is still trying to figure out a way around the ultimate weapon. So like with the tank, at first it was completely unstoppable and all the rest. But as time and tactics got better, it wasn't quite like that. And we will smash the old Hitler poster. Now this little thing right here is supposed to be the Volksfighter, partially made out of like wood with one jet engine, and they're gonna give like some Hitler Youth pilots like 5 minutes worth of training and go get them. That would have gone pretty bad, to say the least. That's another problem with fiction. It's like you can't really fudge the numbers in terms of like training. I mean, yeah, you can try, but you'll likely still fail. It's like that was the big problem with Japan in World War II. They had like the best carrier pilots in the war at first, and then they all died because they never actually, let them go home for any period of time or anything like that. Whereas in the U.S., whereas with the U.S. military, not just in the U.S., because they obviously had to fight outside of it, but whereas with the American military, they would send them back home where they would train other pilots. So while the other pilots might not be as good as them, there were always more of them. And that's really one thing you got to keep in mind when it comes to a conflict. You have to have highly trained soldiers that actually have experience. Oh yeah, that's where the fucking Predator 2 chain gun comes in. Although it's called the Venom in this game. It's a really cool gun, but I never find myself using it all that much. It's one of those, as TV tropes calls them, awesome but impractical weapons. Because it chews through ammo really fast. Okay, here we go. Maybe instead of just... Oh wait, no, we're not there yet. I thought we were actually where we needed to be. But yeah, it's like, you have to have highly trained and highly motivated troops. Realistically, BJ... Well, obviously, if BJ was just a member of a military unit, we'd be playing, Band of Brothers. Not Band of Brothers, Company of Heroes. No, that's not it either. It's some game done by Gearbox. I don't know why it just did that, where it lagged for a few seconds. I thought I fixed that, goddammit. I don't know. That's the joys of being a PC gamer and recording. You always gotta figure out what's wrong with it now. Doesn't do that in Doom anymore, so I guess that's something, but... that's just the way it goes. It will be fixed at some point. Like, right after this episode's recorded. It did do that it did a little bit of that in the previous episode, too. I don't know. It wasn't always this way. I love that. It's just like, you see him, dead. What is that game called? Company of Heroes, I think. No, Company of Heroes is an RTS, I think. I don't remember. But it was a realistic styled first-person shooter that wasn't that bad. Okay, now... I'm going to use that rocket. Nah, I need to save the rocket, because when we start encountering yet another enemy type... I love how they can shoot you from... I guess he can see my model. Okay, let's just poke our head around. And shoot him! Well, I love how he was able to tank that. I'm not going to save just yet. Really? Really? Come on! Who uses a rocket launcher against infantry? Although, bazookas were historically used to clear fortifications and stuff like that. Just whatever works, works. Get him! Twitch shooting, ladies and gentlemen. Twitch shooting. That could be a pro MLG. Alright. Finally, we got past that. And then I immediately shot. Now remember, combat is a lot like that in many respects. Where you stick your head out and immediately get shot. Once again, remind me never to actually have to get into real combat. Because I would not like to just... I can just picture with my luck, I show up and I'm immediately shot in the face. I don't even get to do anything. I may be a very good shot, and actually have studied military history for years, and I'm immediately shot. Or, it's actually worse than that, really. Because the thing that actually kills the most in combat is actually artillery, something you don't even see. It's like with artillery, you can be shot from across the map, pretty much. Real combat is not fair. Real battles aren't fair, and nor should they be fair. If you're fighting a battle, you want to have all the advantages. You want to have all the planning. You want to basically show up and immediately win. You do not really want it to be, I think it was Wellington who said that, I think. You do not want it to be a close run thing. You just want to show up and almost immediately win. You want to have as many hacks as is humanly possible. Because that is how it works. And the thing is, like, you're never going to have the best weapons. Because that's one thing you gotta keep in mind. It's like, well, why didn't everybody have, like, a Thompson? Or why didn't everybody have this? Or why didn't everybody have that? Because weapons are expensive. Or why didn't they make, like, a shitload of Tiger tanks? Because you still have to pay for those weapons. You still have to have the steel. You still have to have, you know, all the different all the different elements that make up a tank. So, you know, the Tiger tank was a cool design, and it certainly worked, but they only made 1,000 of them. Whereas there were several tens of thousands of Shermans. So your tank might be able to blow up, you know, a couple hundred Shermans. There's still a couple hundred behind that, and on and on and on. Let's see. I bet I can't turn the machine gun. I can't. That's actually somewhat realistic, ladies and gentlemen. Whatever next? Oh, I can't open the door. I was waiting for that guy to. At least I got the Thompson, although I'm going to run out of ammo soon enough. The Thompson was another gun that was pretty great for World War II, but it weighed a lot, and it was expensive to manufacture, which is why it would eventually be replaced by the M3 grease gun, which I really love. I love that gun. I mean, I like it mainly because that's the natter. Oh yeah, that's going to really be useful. I actually looked that up in the intervening time between the last episode, or the last episode of October and this one. Essentially, the natter was barely, well, it wasn't used operationally at all. And when it was actually, the test pilot actually died testing it out. I think it crashed. Yeah, it did crash. And the design, if you actually look up what the design was supposed to do, it was completely insane. Like, I'm talking like, in fiction, this is something that would be a war-winning weapon, right? In real life, anybody, and I can only imagine the test pilot was like completely nuts to get in this thing. Or really, really motivated. Because, damn, son, the idea of this thing, like, to get out of the plane, like, you're supposed to be flung out by centrifugal force after jettisoning the engine. Can I go to show you what their priority was there? It was just insane. Oh, this was also another infamous little moment here where they're talking about trying to disarm it and they blow themselves up. You wouldn't see that today, that's for sure. It's like, oh, that's too controversial. Yeah, because you know how people are these days. Okay, this is where we need to go. Because I always got lost back there. Because well, I did it again. Wow. I always get lost back there. Gets lost immediately. Okay, here we are. But yeah, it's like the Natter was just a completely insane vehicle. Well, the Comet wasn't much better, which was another rocket fighter that was actually used. Because like sometimes the engine tanks would break. And I don't think I mentioned this already, but it's still just insane what it was. Like the engine tanks would sometimes rupture, and then the rocket fuel was corrosive, and it could literally strip somebody down to the skeleton. That's just nasty, though. Can you imagine being the person that was told to clean that shit up? Ugh. Remind me never to join the military. As much as I like studying it, after studying it, I'd like to avoid all the politics and shit details and things of that nature. Knowing my luck, that's all I'd get. Thankfully, these guys can't shoot for shit, despite having a scope. Oh, I think I got him. Well, I think I got one! These are all the elite Fallschirmjäger, who actually, you know, well, they did perform they did perform fairly well. All the German troops really did fight quite well. It's too bad they were fighting for a horribly criminal regime, but hey, that's how it goes. Oh, yeah, like that. You know, I'm actually helping them by destroying that Natter. I should leave that up there and let them think it's a good idea. You know? That way they can launch it, put all those resources into it, launch it, and have it fail spectacularly. Because it would. And did. Oh, god damn it. Really? Really? I hate it when that happens. Except we gotta jump. But, yeah, it's like, as I was talking about earlier, like, you do have to have, troops that are reasonably well equipped, that are reasonably motivated, and reasonably well led. Because if you don't, they all die, and the enemy wins. It's the one thing. Oh yeah, I'm leaving it up this time. Yeah, you guys go ahead and use that. I mean, that thing will work fine, man. I mean, it'll fly perfect. It's not like it'll just like not even get off the ground. But yeah, like the thing is, and also combined arms must be used. Combined arms is a big deal. Like if you send all your tanks out, they will get blown to fucking pieces if they don't have good infantry support and good air support. That's one of the things the Krauts learned, much to their chagrin, from like 44 to 45 once the German Air Force lost its air superiority. Really? Why am I not hitting this guy? He can hit me. I'll use the fucking pistol. Oh, it's just hitting the window. The hitbox is broken over there. But knowing how difficult it is to make a game, I guess I shouldn't fault them too much. Yeah, once they lost air superiority, literally all the, Allied air forces had to do was just drop bombs on them. And the best armor in the world isn't going to protect you against that. There's actually a alternate history story where they actually made... Because, like, the funny thing about all that super German tech is that all sounds really good in theory if you don't know anything about how... military technology works or anything about tactics. But, like, the German military actually building, like, a giant 100-ton monster tank, that sounds cool. It's like, oh, no, they could win the war. No, they couldn't. They could not. One 100-ton tank isn't going to save them. Mainly because, well, they got tens of thousands of airplanes, and you know what they can do with those tens of thousands of airplanes? They can drop bombs on it and blow it up that way. And then what happened? How are you gonna feed that tank, Okay, why is that hitbox gotta be broken? And he's gonna kill me before... Well, I would die from the fall anyway. And that's one of the things... There was a really good fan film that I saw that had a really good miniature walking robo-tank that the Germans were supposed to have. And it's like, oh no, they might win the war. Yeah. Okay, so they got like, what, one tank? Even if they had, like, say, 10... walking tanks and with like lasers and shit, they still aren't gonna win because their infrastructure's in shambles and they couldn't manufacture enough to keep pace with the Allies once they stole the tech. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is yet another level of Return to Castle Wolfenstein, and more me completely destroying bad military tactics.